This segment is brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs.
Welcome to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate. I'm happy to be your host, and I'm happy to introduce our next two guests. We have with us in studio, we have Josh Alford, who is the commissioner at the Houma-Terrebonne Airport Board. And then we also have joining us via Zoom, Senator Bill Cassidy. Thank you all both for joining us.
Happy to be here.
All right. Recently it was announced that Louisiana was selected as one of the, 8 national sites to host a new federal aviation pilot program. Josh, first, if you can tell us just a little bit about what this program is.
Yeah, so essentially this is a program that they've chosen 8 sites throughout the country, one of which being Louisiana, and that'll be the site at Houma-Terrebonne Airport. This is a program that is going to integrate drones into the airspace. So they're figuring out how to do this throughout the rest of the country, and these are the sites that are going to be responsible for doing that. So obviously it's going to bring a lot of private, government, educational institutions to the airport to be able to test out these things that they can't do at other sites.
All right, Senator, I know you were instrumental in helping Louisiana be one of the sites. You did some advocacy to the federal government. Can you tell us a little bit about that process and why you felt that Louisiana was a good candidate to get this program?
First, let's just repeat what Joshua just said. This is going to be more economic development for Louisiana, more jobs. We're going to be one of 8 centers in the nation. So if you're anywhere in the nation and you want to test going over the horizon, you can't see the drone, but it's over the horizon, and you want it to be over a body of water, you may come to Louisiana, set up your site, because we're going to be doing it over the Gulf of America. And why is it important? Because this is going to put Houma-Terrebonne Airport on the drone map. That is the technology for the future. And so we are going to be helping to develop that to service our industry. And let me finish by saying a real shout out to Josh. He said, listen, man, we are on the 10-yard line. Can you call the FAA deputy administrator? Can you do this? Can we do this? We did it all. We worked together to deliver results for Houma-Terrebonne, for our state, and for our nation. And so very pleased to be part of the process.
Well, it's
shout out to Senator Cassidy. He has been Johnny on the spot. Every text, every phone call he's responded to and followed up with us. And also have to give a shout out to the rest of the federal delegation. Congressman Higgins has been super responsive and helpful, as well as Majority Leader Scalise. But I have to say Senator Cassidy has really carried the ball and pushed this across the finish line.
Well, it really is a great testament to, working together through different levels of state government. You have local, you have state, the governor's office, their help, and then you also have, the federal delegation and Senator Cassidy. And again, we thank you for all your help that you're doing for this region.
Thanks, Jacob. It's a great region. You got to work for it, brother. You got to work for it.
Well, certainly.
And, this is a Louisiana submission. So the project or the designation was given to Louisiana, but the site will be at the Houma-Terrebonne Airport. And so also to the governor, who's been personally involved and going to Secretary Duffy personally, as well as LADOTD. They've been terrific to work with, and we look forward to working with them a whole lot more to bring this opportunity home to Louisiana and to the Houma Airport.
Certainly. And Senator, I guess to your point, I guess for your advocacy to the federal side, I guess, it's a good point that Louisiana is well positioned to service, the entire Gulf region, not just Louisiana, but you have Mississippi and Texas right next door with all their oil and gas operations that drones could certainly be helpful for.
And the drones can take cargo, they can take people, and they can take them for long distances. And I'll repeat, when I saw the application that Joshua and his team put together, there's people from Mississippi collaborating on a Houma-Terrebonne Airport application. So the implications of this go a lot further than our state and our parish. And if you think about one of the major issues right now, creating jobs, we create a lot of good jobs in the oil industry off the coast of Louisiana. Driving down gasoline prices, that's going to be a big thing too. ultimately drones will help support that. Jobs in and of themselves, but also jobs supporting other jobs. And so this is a big win for our state.
Certainly. And Josh, I guess for the airport as well, that extra economic activity in the area, support businesses as well, that will all, I guess, benefit the airport commission as well.
Absolutely. You're going to see companies that we haven't heard of that want to come here and test their drones or test their equipment where they can't do it anywhere else. And what a better place to do it than right off the coast, where you can fly off of our airport. Safety is number one. Fly off of our airport safely, not going over any homes or businesses, and then being out in the Gulf of America where we have infrastructure, right? We have 5G, we have fiber optic. A lot of these test sites that have been set up previously, that isn't exactly what this is, they've been set up in the middle of nowhere. So they're starting from scratch. There's no infrastructure. We are kind of in the middle of nowhere, but the infrastructure is already built out. So it's going to be a great complement to our biggest economic driver, which is oil and gas. And those oil and gas partners are excited for the opportunity. And we have companies like that were on our submission, like Beta and Elroy, that are not here now, but have to be, once all the details are worked out, have to be operational within 90 days off of our airport. And we also have Bristow involved as well.
All righty. Well, thank you very much, Josh. And thank you, Senator, for coming on and telling us, about this huge announcement that'll be a good deal for this area. And we thank you all for your help.
This segment was brought to you by Alford and Associates for all of your insurance needs.
Welcome back to Bayou Time. I'm Jacob DeGate, and I'm sitting here with Josh Alford, who is a commissioner with the Houma-Terrebonne Airport Board. And Josh, again, we're talking a little bit about this new federal pilot program that's coming to this area. It's really, I guess, designed to help move the country into the future. In Louisiana, and the airport right here in Houma is going to be at the forefront of that. Can you tell us again, the whole steps that went into, I guess, securing this approval, in Louisiana as being a site select?
Absolutely. So have to give credit to the staff at the airport. Ed Jarvis, who's our executive director, comes from FAA background, so he knows how all this works because he's been through it a whole bunch of times. Also, Andrea Dupre, who really did all the legwork on it. And we even got over 200 letters of support. So you have to thank, SCIA, the chamber, and each and every individual that went and signed a letter of support that we shared with the federal delegation. We put, I like to say, we put the pressure campaign on the federal delegation, on the governor, and it worked. I think at some points we were like, man, we're going to aggravate them. It didn't matter. We were like, we're going to put it all in because this is what we have been trying to do for the last close to 10 years. When I got on the airport commission, this was something we were not working on. And after about a year, because I'm making 10 years on the airport commission this year, but after about a year that I was on there, we started investing, and we've invested probably close to about $4 million directly from the airport, which we have made all of that back through different grants or funding from the state and federal government. But this is really going to be an economic engine. The airport already is an economic engine, but we're just taking it that much further. And I say this every time, no one knows that we have the largest heliport in the entire world right here in Houma. And obviously that played a big part in the submission. So it is our job to create the rules and regulations for the rest of the country so that eventually they can integrate drones throughout the country, not just at these 8 sites that were named through this federal program.
Certainly, and I guess the goal is to get it, make sure it's done in a safe and responsible manner. I think we do have a video that we can play for a little bit to give some people out there an idea more of the type of things we're talking about. Jason, if you could play that for us.
All of this new technology, these eVTOLs that are going to take people from one airport to the next and beyond that, these Ubers in the air. We have a president, we have a DOT that want to see those innovators innovate in America and then export them around the world. eVTOLs are going to make the airspace far more interesting and far more fun, and we have to be prepared for that and seamlessly implement their involvement in using the NAS. This is a time when we don't know how the world is going to change, but it's going to change in the way people and products move, which is exciting. I'm excited for what the future holds. Let's win the future.
Right, and that's a look at some of the type of drones that could be possible. And of course, you made a good point during the break. We're so used to, I guess, seeing now the helicopters over our heads. They're very loud and noisy, and sometimes people don't, they wake them up, don't appreciate it. But these drones, it's something that's going to be a lot quieter and hopefully can do a good job of alleviating some of those concerns.
Right, and because a lot of these drones are on the electric side, and that is obviously cutting down on the noise substantially. And so these will be quiet. And of course, during the initial stages, they will not be flying over anyone's homes or anything like that. They are going to be on a specific pathways to make sure if anything were to occur, which is unlikely, but if it were, that whatever the consequences, that they're landing in a field or in the water where no one would be affected.
Certainly, yeah, and Louisiana, or Houma in particular, is well suited for that. Unfortunately, but sometimes fortunately, sometimes unfortunately, the marsh really is right next door, beating up to us. I know we like it for our sportsman's paradise, but it is right next door. But then again, that gives a lot of room for the drones to operate and not have to, I guess, worry about being over a neighborhood or anything like that.
Right. And what I'm most excited about, and when I was speaking to Congressman Higgins, I was explaining this to him, and he had me write a personal letter that he handed out to all of the federal delegates. I said, I'm 32 years old, and almost half the friends I grew up with are in other places now because the opportunity just may not be here for what they want to do. So this is bringing opportunity back to Houma, and especially back to the east side, where we know that it's been decimated over the years. And this is going to bring investment. This is going to bring jobs. This is going to bring businesses. And of course, every business that you bring needs to be supported by other businesses. So it's going to be a great economic impact for our area, and that's why we fought so hard for it.
Well, Josh, I know you did a lot of work in helping get across that line, and we certainly thank you for it and commend you on that as well. And thank you.
Team effort. So thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for coming on, and stay tuned for more right here on HTV.
This segment was brought to you by Barker Honda. It's better at Barker.